Good evening, Flyers fans, and welcome back to Clear the Ice, a Flyers postgame show here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network with your boy Matty B on the call. A little late, but you know what? I'm here. Today was a kind of a wacky day for me, and I was unable to kind of slide in the postgame show at a more applicable time, but hey, it is what it is. But I'm here. I should get points for that. More points than what the Flyers should get for what they put out today. 3-0 losers today at home to the Boston Bruins in a game fought with a lot of follow-on issues. Sam Ersson, of course, the big story of this game. Well, is he the big story or is being shut out at home a bigger story? I guess Sam Ersson's a big story or a bigger story. The best player of the Flyers, best player on the Flyers by far this season has been their starting goalie. I've actually been talking a lot of positive things about Ersson over the past few games, and today was probably the one thing we didn't need to have happen, and that is a prolonged potential injury to the Flyers starting goaltender, now putting our goaltending situation completely in flux with now no clear number one goaltender. So Ersson left early into the first, before even the halfway point of the first period, complaining of a lower body injury. This was after he threw a skate blade, and just really, Ersson was not Ersson's day today, obviously, as he left the game complaining of some sort of injury. Flyers are characterizing it as a lower body injury. What that means, I don't know, but I do know that he probably, I hope he's not missing some time, an extended period of time. Flyers don't play again until Tuesday, but the next three games, if you're going to need somebody who's kind of like the de facto starting goalie, which Ersson is, you're going to need him against the Lightning, the Carolina Hurricanes, and the Florida Panthers, because that's the Flyers' next three opponents this week. And the prospect of throwing Kovaslov and Fedotov at those three teams is not really a positive one if you're looking to try to turn this season around. So we'll stay tuned for how this week works out. But the Flyers today, 3-0 losers to the Boston Bruins. What was good about today? It's hard for me to find anything. It's actually very hard for me to find anything good to talk about when the team was shut out at home and the offense was once again listless and laden with perimeter play. It's just becoming a joke, the way this team cannot get any kind of concentrated offense to the front of the net. They're terrible at it. Defending teams or teams they're playing so far this season seemingly have figured out to neutralize the one thing offensively that worked so well for the Flyers last year, and that was that transition outlet pass that would create odd man rushes. Teams are seemingly figured that out because the Flyers are not getting any of that early on this season. And when they do get it, they're indecisive with the puck, which completely nulls out the whole transition odd man rush situation in the first place. So 3-0 today. The Flyers lose. Outshot in this game 31-20. I guess now we can move on to some of the bad stuff. Outshot 31-20 on the day. Now the Flyers for the season are averaging a putrid 24 shots a game. 24 shots a game this team is averaging. I'm sorry, 25. I missed it by one. The Flyers are averaging 25 shots a game on the season. It's down by about 10 from last year. The Flyers were upwards in the mid-30s on shots on net per game. They're now down to 25. And that has, we can talk about that. We can talk about the lack of perimeter or lack of transitional, lack of sustained offense. We can also talk about the fact that this team, when they do get an opportunity to shoot on net, they're shooting wide. What did Coach Tortorella say the other day? It's an epidemic on the team right now when it comes to missing the net. There were a couple posts clanged. There were a couple of near misses. Morgan Frost continues to be snake-bitten on the season. And, they're just not generating enough offense. And the offense that they're generating, they're not finishing. So, outshot 31-20 on the day. 0 for 3 on the power play. A once promising power play. Still promising. Still a lot better than it was at this point a year ago. 0 for 3 today. They now have fallen less than 20% effective on the power play. Down to 19. I believe 8 for 44 now on the season on the power play. Which again, the eighth goal they scored last year was not until sometime in January. So I'm going to take that. But no power play pressure, no power play, nothing today by the Flyers. Just listless. Just listless. The other big numbers on the day. Now, I guess a good thing, it continues to be the Flyers' penalty kill. They continued their dominance in that penalty kill department today, shutting down the Bruins on their 2 power plays. The Flyers are now hovering around the 90% mark when it comes to penalty kill on the season. So that continues a carryover from last year. 15 more giveaways today. 15 more giveaways by the Flyers. I cannot stress how frustrating that is to see on a night-to-night basis with this team when it comes to giveaways. 15 more today. Their total now on the season has gone up to 170. 170 giveaways through 12 games, which is about 14 a game. They only took the puck away from the Bruins 5 times, which now they're at 70, I believe, on the season. 71 for an average of about 6 a game. So it's really not hard to kind of figure out, again, where some of these offensive discrepancies are coming from when you look at some of the numbers inside the numbers. Flyers did block, 19 shots today? Another absurd number of shots that they're blocking. 19 shots blocked. So again, that's a positive, right? It's still a positive. That means they're still listening and they're still bought in on John Tortorella's message. But all in all, just a really pathetic effort by the Flyers. And now, with Sam Ersson potentially being gone for some extended period of time, what do you do? We talked on this show the other night, or I talked on my show the other night. Kind of hard to keep them all, track of them all. We talked about opportunity. We talked about the goaltending position not necessarily factored into the rebuild last year. This was not supposed to be one of the positions that the Flyers were supposed to rebuild. But chance had it, situations happened, and now they're here. And now you're dealing with a whole bunch of number 2 goalies. And now looking like we're going to have an opportunity, or someone's going to have an opportunity here, Kolosov or Fedotov, because I'm sure both of them are going to be on the game day roster. But someone's going to have an opportunity to be the actual starting goalie on this team. Who is that going to be? Who's going to answer the bell, so to speak? Well, we're probably going to find out this week, as no timetable has been given on Sam Ersson's return or an actual injury other than lower body, which is the new way of doing things. Without saying it, they say it. So lower body injury for Sam Ersson right after he threw a skate blade. I mean, if that's not a bad omen, I don't know. When you throw a skate blade in a game, that's a bad omen. You might as well just I would actually, it's happened to me before. I left. I'm like, I'm not playing. I'm not playing because something bad is going to happen. This was a warning sign. So I'm going to leave. But Ersson obviously stuck it out and then got injured. So there you have it. Let's go over this Drek. The Bruins would get things going on Kolosov at the 13:28 mark of the first period. About halfway, or a little less than half the time that Kolosov got it back in the game. Matthew Portress, his first goal of the season from Lindblom and Greinke to make it 1-0. It was a rebound situation that the Flyers gave up, and you can't do that. We talk about that all the time. That's situational, fundamental hockey. You can't give up rebounds. Kolosov gave up a nice little juicy one off to the right, and they buried it for the 1-0 lead. You just can't give up rebounds, and the Flyers paid the price with that. That would be all the scoring in the first period. In the second period, though, Boston would get things going at about the halfway mark at 11:23. Justin Brazeau, his third goal of the season from Marchand and Lindholm to make it 2-0 Flyers. This was just a goal that Kolosov got beat. I mean, it came out from the perimeter. It was it had some heat on it, and I ain't gonna lie, that was a pretty hard looking shot. But Kolosov was beat. He was beat to the left. He was beat to the far side, and you got to make that save. There was a screen in front of him. I'm sorry, though. You still have to make that save. 2-0 now, Boston, and then that would be all your scoring in the second period, and then Marchand would tap it all off at 16:21 of the third, an empty netter, to make it 3-0, and his third goal of the year from Pasternak, his 5th assist. And that's all you got for scoring. The Flyers lose today, 3-0. Kolosov played okay. He did. I ain't going to deny that. He did. He played well. It's hard to play good and not get any support in front of you. The defense was okay in front of him. They gave him opportunities. They gave him chance to make saves. the offense didn't do anything for the Flyers today. The offense did not help out their goalie. They didn't help out the situation. They didn't help out anything. And that is why we lost 3-0. So I'm not going to blame this on Kovalsov at all. Not at all. But the Flyers got to find a way to score. And Kovalsov might now have to figure out how to be a starting goalie at this level because with the situation with Sam Ersson. So Flyers now 3-0 losers today. Now on the season have fallen to a 4-7-1, 9 points through 12 games now for the Flyers as they this very frustrating, disappointing season kind of continues on for them here. Don't forget this show and on all the other shows that we have here on It's a Wrap is brought to you by It's a Wrap. So make sure that you like and subscribe us on all of our platforms. Please, we're trying to grow this thing and we need help. So go ahead and like and subscribe on our YouTube, Facebook, and that's all we have right now. So YouTube and Facebook. Let's take a look around the NHL. Senators currently at the end of the second, it is 2-0 Ottawa over Seattle. It is 2-1 Detroit over the Sabres early on in the third period. Out in Pittsburgh, it's 2-0 Montreal, or 2-0 Pittsburgh over Montreal at the beginning of the third period. End of the second, it's 3-1 St. Louis over Toronto in St. Louis. Just underway in the second, it's 0-0 Avalanche and Predators. A little bit later on, you got Utah at Vegas, and you got Vancouver at San Jose. Games that have gone final on this full slate of, or not full slate, but big slate of games on Saturday. The defending Stanley Cup champs beat the Stars 4-2. The Blackhawks beat the Kings 4-3, and it was 7-2 Capitals over the Blue Jackets. And there's your scoring around the National Hockey League on this Saturday, November 2nd. I guess now let's talk about my turning point and key moment of the game. It's kind of hard not to look at the Sam Ersson situation as the key moment or turning point in this game. Ersson had stopped all 8 shots that he had faced up to his injury. Not saying that he was going to go and pitch himself a shutout, and I'm also not saying that the Flyers weren't still not going to score goals for him. I'm just saying that obviously when you lose your starting goalie or the guy that's penciled in as your starting goalie and the guy that's kind of working his way into that position. As I said, the best player on the Flyers right now at this point this season. He has been the most consistent and he has been the best on this team so far. And now you lose him and you potentially might be losing him for some prolonged time or maybe not. I don't know, but you still lost him in this game. And after that, you throw in a young player and you don't provide any offense in front of him. Obviously that's going to be my turning point of the game is the loss of Sam Ersson for Alexei Kovalsov there in the first period. So I hope that this is not prolonged because if the Flyers want to keep this season, and I know I've heard a lot since it happened about now let's tank because now if we lose our starting goalie for an extended period of time, what does it matter anymore? Let's just kind of throw it all in there. Let's tank without tanking type situation. But I don't think the Flyers are going to have to tank. They're not good. And now you add the fact that they don't have a viable starting goalie. They may be tanking on their own, but not a good situation down there in South Philly for the Flyers right now as they lost Ersson for an extended, unknown period of time. Yeah, it's tough. A little programming note here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. Don't forget, tomorrow night I will be back for the Final Word with Matty B as we'll start our broadcast week off with a bang. And then on Monday night at 7 p.m., make sure you're tuned in for the premiere of the Wraparound with Sal G, the new daily or weekly show that we're going to have here on It's a Wrap starting on Monday at 7. And looking forward to that. Looking forward to growing the network. As I said, we're trying to grow this thing from the ground up, and we need your support, we need your help, and we need all of it. So Flyers lose today 3-0. It's hard for me to sit here and kind of go on and on and on about a game that was boring, a game that the Flyers once again could not do anything offensively, and a game where we lost Sam Ersson because that's all we're going to talk about really is the effect of losing Sam Ersson, and just a terrible day of hockey, and the season is starting to become very frustrating, and the season is becoming very disappointing. And now with this latest turn of events, that could be accelerated. So more to follow, of course, how they react. Again, Carolina, Tampa, and Florida are the next 3 teams up. Not necessarily the 3 teams that you want to be trying out a young goalie or 2. But we'll see how that test is taken and handled by these young netminders if that's the case. I would imagine, Kovalev's going to get one of those games regardless if Urson was healthy or not. So, maybe just you got to look at it as an opportunity. And that's what you got to look at it as, right? You got to look at it as an opportunity if you're Kovalov. I mean, this is what he wanted. This is why he threw his little fit and tantrum in the first place about not wanting to be in the AHL. He wanted to be in the NHL. I don't know if any promises were made to him about being in the NHL, but now he's got his wish. Now he's going to have an opportunity to be the number 1 here. Now it's up to him. And now it's up to him to stand up and answer the bell. So obviously that's the guy I'm going with, right? I'm not thinking that Fedotov goes into the starting position. Now Fedotov will return potentially or possibly and most definitely as the backup, and he will see more time. But if you're asking me who the new Flyer depth chart should be in goaltending, it's got to be Kovalov and then Fedotov. I mean, there's just no other, for me, there's just no other way you can't spin it any other way for me. And we'll have to wait and see how that works out. But Alexei Kovalov now has an opportunity. And this is what he wanted. So let's see what he does with that opportunity starting this week. And then hopefully Sam Ersson is not out too long and we can get him back and try to get the offense on this team figured out and fixed. Or it's going to be a very long season. When you're scoring, what is it? What are they averaging now? 2.4 goals a game. I mean, that's youth hockey bad. Yep. They've scored 29 goals on the season, 2.4 a game. They've given up 44 goals for 3.6. So if you do the rule of 5, the Flyers are averaging 2 goals a game, and they're averaging surrendering 4 goals a game. They're literally being doubled up on each game. That's just not going to work, and it's just not going to win you many games at the NHL level. They got to figure out how to mitigate, and maybe not mitigate the goals given up. They got to find some goddamn offense somewhere, somebody. A change in the scheme. Obviously, the transition pass that worked brilliantly last year to create a lot of offense is not working this year. Either teams have figured it out or a combination of teams have figured it out and the Flyers are just too indecisive with the puck because they've been very indecisive with their decisions on the puck so far this season. And, of course, they're shooting, as the head coach says, there's an epidemic of shooting wide this year on this hockey team. So maybe all 3 of those factors together are equaling the bad offensive output so far by this team. And maybe they can find another secret sauce, another stir of the mixture, another dab of this and a pinch of that and get this thing straightened out. Because right now this offense is putrid. It's putrid. And there's no other way you're going to be able to spin it towards me. Everything is in the perimeter. We did a breakdown of the Tyson Forrester goal the other night against Boston. About how maybe it was promising or maybe not. It was a nice goal, but look at where the goal was taken and the shot was taken. Everything is out. Everything is at the dot or beyond. Nothing is in front of the net. And that's frustrating because you're not at the NHL level. You got to have a net presence. You got to have people that can play in front of the net. And when they are in front of the net, they're outworked. They're out hustled. They're about a half a step behind or a half a second off of their shot. They got to get people that can play in front of the net. And I know that'll come in time. But that is exactly why this offense is struggling so much right now. They're just undersized to play the net game, and they've reverted and decided to play just a perimeter style of offense, and it's just not working. It's not working because, one, they're shooting wide, and when they do get a shot on net, it's not registering. So something's got to change, or different things got to be added to this, or the Flyer offense is going to just shut down by Christmas. And that would be, we're in for a long season if that's the case. So, but that's going to wrap me up tonight, folks. Thank you for joining me again. I apologize for being so late. I was actually working hockey games myself all day, and I had breaks throughout the day, but I didn't have a long enough break right at the end of the game to where I could jump on here. So I had to go finish my games and then come back, eat dinner, and then jump on here. So I want to apologize for that, but I delivered the clear of the ice. I did what I had to do. 2-4-1 now, by the way, on the season I am as the host of Clear the Ice. So there you go. There we go. But we will talk again next time. I believe Sal's on the call next time. Wait, when is that? the 5th. We're gonna have to change that. Nope, Sal was on the call on the 5th. So yeah. So Sal got you the next on the next Clear the Ice on the 5th. I'll get you later in the week. Don't forget Sal's new show, Wrap Around here on It's Rap Sports, will premiere on Monday at 7. I'll be back tomorrow night with the final word, Matty B. And in the immortal words of the late great Mr. Gene Hart, good night, and God help us, good hockey.
I'll be coming up hot for a minute. Everybody know the drop when I'm in it. I drop the top when I'm in it. Everybody know the drop when I'm in it. Yeah, I flow so pure. Everybody know I'm you know when they click through to the then it's about to be a trophy.